let's get it.
Let's go. What's good?
So, hey, we are here, guys. Welcome to episode 8 of Actors Unscripted. Today, I have the amazing, the bombastic Clyde Rush. Now, this guy, he is a man of many talents. He's gone through a lot of different experiences in life, and one of those is being an off-Broadway actor. So he does have experience in that regard. However, the reason why I brought Clyde on today is because he has a very large amount of insight when it comes to the mentality and the approach of many careers, many lifestyle decisions, and generally just the positive ways of living life. So welcome, Clyde. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the invitation. And listen, this is thank you. I really appreciate it. It's an opportunity to be on your podcast in this fashion and this form, and to share some information and some insights that I think may be advantageous to the young people that are coming on with yourself as far as your guests are concerned. A little bit about me, as Benny said up front, I have done some off-Broadway stuff, and I'll talk a little bit about what that stuff was in the audition process and what inspired me to go do it and those different things. I'm also a retired detective from the New York City Police Department. I'm a professional bodybuilder, DJ, international brother, doing what it is that I do. But I'm living this thing called life. And right now I'm just living a dream. That's really what it's all about. You get a dream, you get a vision, and you live from that space.
Amazing. Fantastic. So speaking on the topic of dreams, I'd like to speak to you a bit about your experience when you started doing the off-Broadway stuff, because I know it's only a small chapter in your life, but it still carries a lot of impact. So I'm interested. Tell us about that whole story and process.
How much time we got? Because this is a whole broadcast. I'm just kidding around, just playing.
But, take as much time as you need, but I will stop you if it's like an hour-long story. We've got more stuff to get to, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you're talking about. Well, you know what? The truth of the matter is I had an idea, and the idea was I wonder what it would be like to be up on a stage, and that was really what it started out as. And from there, in the time that I was doing this, we had this paper that was called The Backstage, and what that did actually was it listed all the off-Broadway shows and different auditions that you can go through. You can get headshots and all this other crazy stuff. And this is a whole new language to me. I didn't know anything about this stuff. But I knew that, if there was something that I wanted to do as far as the industry at that particular time was concerned, was get the backstage. So I did. And there was a little caption that was in there talking about an audition. And I'm like, what about this audition? I'd never been on one. So I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I just figured I was just having some fun and just trying out something that I didn't, have any experience in. But I was willing to go on the adventure and discover. So I went down to this off-Broadway, audition. I'll never forget, it was on a Saturday. And this room was jam-packed full of people, right? Listen, I didn't even know what they were casting for. I just know that they had an open call. And it was a reading. So I went in, and, the producer and the writer of this particular play was like, okay, we want you to play Malcolm X. That's who it was. And I was like, okay. So for me, my thing was, when the time finally came, let me just do my rendition of the way that I think Malcolm X would be. And they looked at me and it was like, do you sing? So I was like, if I need to, I'm gonna do what it is. So I was like, well, sure, if that's what it needs to be. Good thing they didn't ask me to sing at that moment, but they just wanted to know if I could carry a note. And I had done some singing and whatnot, various places. Not that I have an album out, not for singing, but I can carry a note. So anyway, I went through that audition and they said, okay, listen, just can you stand by for a little while? I'm like, sure, okay. So we went through that whole process, and I didn't know what the standby actually meant, but it was like what they were doing was checking to see if there was anybody else. Rather than get a call back, which is what it is, you found out right then and there. So I stood there and I waited for an hour, 2 hours, and then 3 hours went by, and it's like, okay, we need you to come back in. Now, mind you, the whole space was emptying out and people were being, auditioned at that time, and they were told right off the space, you didn't make it, but we'll keep you in mind for something. So they came, told me to come back in to the room, and then they asked me if I could read another part. So I was like, okay, sure. So I read this other part, and he was like, okay, good. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put you on. And I was like, wow, is this how this thing goes? we're going to put you on. We're going to have these rehearsals and so on and so forth. They're going to be on, I think it was Monday and Tuesdays or something like that. And the Broadway show is supposed to go off, I guess, in about a month or so, maybe a month and a half. So I'm like, wow, this is really crazy. And I got the part. I was
Mm,
this publisher in this movie. The play was called The Gospel of Harlem Renaissance. It ran off Broadway for a long period of time, but it was my beginning and my entry into this acting career and being off Broadway, but being on the stage. So
mm.
again, singing and dancing and the stage work that you have to do. And I had my little role and whatnot. And I'll never forget, selling the ticket, because we were selling tickets back at that time. And I'm selling people, I'm gonna be in this play. And I was in the play, and the audience, it was full. It was like really a full audience, which was shocking to me, because I'm like, that they were coming to see me per se, but I was part of this whole
Yeah.
experience. But yeah, I guess the thing is just get the vision about what it is that you truly want to do, follow suit, do the next step, and keep following the next step and the next step and the
Mm.
next step. And again, I just went in off the street, off the rip, found some information, went to an audition, and now there's more stuff that happened as a result of that. But just to open the floor up, if you have any questions about what it is that
Yeah,
I've
of
shared
course.
so far, then I'll go into that
Yeah.
part.
No, that's actually really interesting. I mean, there was a story I heard recently about Rami Malek
Hmm.
where he he sort of started out with like nothing, no agent, nothing whatsoever. So he printed out his CV and
Right.
just littered it across the whole of LA just for fun. Like, why not? I mean, what's there to lose? And
Yeah.
then he gets a call from this casting director and says, "Could I please speak to the agent of Rami Malek?" And he's on the phone. He's like, "Speaking."
Right.
So it's like, I think this idea of generating your own future and your own life really is actually really important. And
Right.
I feel like a lot of us believe that things will just fall into our lap,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and that's okay. I mean, we're human. The whole idea of thinking, okay, if we wait it out, I mean, I've got an agent, I can hold it, I can just sit and do nothing. Sure, maybe it might happen,
Hmm.
but the issue with that is that you're not going anywhere. You're just running in place.
Right.
So my question to you would be, how for a young person who's
Hmm.
perhaps stuck in this situation where they feel like, okay, nothing's happening. There is a real like tug of war happening inside their head, and they just
Yeah.
want to leap forward. What advice would you give them in that regard?
Like you just said, it's very important to understand, just to sit back and wait around is literally watching time go by.
Mm,
And the thing with that is boots on the ground is what I can suggest. Get your boots on the ground and hit the pavement. Find a place, let people know that this is something that you're interested in, and find out who knows somebody that knows somebody. And the only way you can really create that vibration is by being out there. As long as you're sitting still, you're either decaying or you're living. But
mm,
something is definitely happening. So if you truly want to live and you want to do the thing it is that you truly desire to do, there's only one way to do it. You got to go do it. That means you got to knock on those doors. You got to go to those auditions that are hidden, that nobody really knows about, but you happen to show up and be in the right place at the right time with the right people for the right reason. And all of a sudden it just happened because you decided on this day, I'm going to get up and I'm going to show up. And
yep,
then you go. And that's no matter what age you are, no matter whether or not you're in the industry, whether you're thinking about starting, whether or not you've had some experience, whether or not you've had some success or you've had some failures. The fact of the matter is to be persistent and consistent and true to yourself,
yep.
which allows you to be true to the craft.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And it,
just go ahead.
yeah, and also like there is a oh shit, I've lost it now because I've distracted myself.
No, it's fine. I mean, the thing
Um,
I'll reiterate and just keep going
uh,
on. And it'll come back to you. But yeah, today's time is a little bit different. I think the patience that people should have or could have or need to have is kind of dwindled down. And it's the I want it now, I should have it. I already have the success. They should know who it is that I am. You got to remember something, everybody's unique out here. And there's a way for you to actually put your uniqueness out here and show and display your skill, talent, or your ability.
mm,
You got to get comfortable with the fact that somebody actually telling you No. And if you count the number of no's that you actually get until you get the yes, there's a ratio that actually goes along with this. So let's say, for instance, and if you hypothesize and you say, well, listen, for every 10 interviews that I go on, I've gotten 2 callbacks and I got 1 show. Get yourself ready to hear at least 8 no's before you get your
Yeah.
2 yeses and get your 1. And that's a numbers game. And that's no
Mm,
matter what it is. Think about the TV's running all day long. Somebody's getting the work from somewhere. The question is where are you where the work is? And if you can get yourself on that same frequency where the work is, you get that luck, you get that draw. But go ahead.
definitely. Yeah. So like, I think I got it now. So for me, recently there was like it was a discovery where I was like, if I this is it, I found it.
Yeah.
It's when you have an emotional connection, let's say with acting, and it's really like powerful. It's something that makes you really happy, and it's really a thing that just makes you feel like you're the best thing in the world,
Yeah.
right? And for some people, that is acting.
Hmm.
However, I realized this thing is that when you don't match the actions to those feelings, like if it matters to you that much and you're doing this much,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. Like acting,
Inconsistency.
that's an inconsistency. It doesn't correlate. If you're saying that, like for me, for example, acting makes me feel like I'm soaring, like I'm flying like a superhero. It makes me feel so great.
Hmm.
But if my actions are like, well, hang on, you say that, but you're just kind of doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 exactly.
How I think it's. I mean, it's. I'm going to ask how to see your opinion. I mean, my opinion is to just,
Sure.
as you said, boots on the ground. Go do the thing that you want to do. Don't like sit around and like vegetate in your room.
Yeah. I'll give you a quick formula. And, something that's scientific can be proven and it's going to repeat or it's going to produce the same result for anybody who chooses to implement the strategy, concept, or idea, as long as it's something that they can actually do. You happen to say something that's really key. There's a feeling that we get. And you have that feeling as well. I'm complimenting you on it because I know that you do have it and I've seen it. And at the same time, that feeling that you get is the attractor, and you become magnetized with your heart. Now, the key thing is having a clear intention inside your mind. What does it look like when
Mm,
I'm on that stage? What does it look like when I go to that audition? What does it look like for the role that I'm playing? Who must I transform myself into in order to get this next role? So I've got to be clear with my intention in my mind, my thought process. And then I'm going to attract the thing back because I'm going to magnetize it with my heart, the feeling. Now, the critical part about the feeling is you actually capitulated a little bit as far as being here one moment and being there the next moment.
mhm,
But there's 5 key elements that I want people to really understand as far as emotional status, and we call these elevated emotions. The first one is gratitude. Second one is appreciation. Third one is compassion. The next one is care. And the next one is love. And then we can even add another one, enthusiasm and joy. But the thing about it is gratitude, appreciation, compassion, care, and love. If you love the thing it is that you're doing, you'll never work another day in your life. If you can have gratitude for the thing it is that you truly desire, the feeling is that I already have it. And if you
mm.
already have it, I don't have to think about it because I've already got it in my grasp. I've already got that feeling. I already know, like, they're in the
Yeah.
screaming, "Ah, Benito, ah!" They screaming your name, and you stand there looking at it. When you talk and
Mm,
you articulate, you're talking, articulating it. You're speaking to the world, and you're speaking from that acting point as you are in this moment. Even though physically there may not be anybody that you can actually physically see, but you're sending out a vibration in your thought, and you're
mhm.
allowing that vibration to go out and to connect to that infinite field of possibilities, and then it's going to come back because you feel it. You can't draw back what you don't feel. Just like you said, I feel like I'm top of the world. I'm the Superman. I got superpowers that's out here.
Yeah.
You allow yourself to tune in, tap in, and turn on to your superpower. Oh my goodness, the life that you'll be able to live, the dreams that you actually have,
Yeah.
the fun. But anyway, that's a little bit of it, man. Yeah.
No, for real, like, I think I wanna talk more about magnetism actually because
Hmm.
I think that's really important, especially, like, I'm just gonna say this, guys, you can
Yeah.
take it with a pinch of salt, I don't care, but I truly believe that acting is a very spiritual thing. It's not
It is.
something that you just, pluck out of your ass. Yeah.
No,
It comes deep within your soul, and you're bringing out different versions of you every time.
you do.
So
You do.
for me, I want to talk to you about magnetism because the law of attraction is something that exists 100%
Absolutely.
without a doubt. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I had an example for it. I'm not going to go too into detail, but I was
Yes.
actually, I was like doing, as you said, putting boots to the ground. I was like, right, let's see if I can create something, see if I can make an environment where people can come together
Mm-hmm.
and right.
Yep.
And I was doing this, and I went to the gym. Now, while I was at the gym, I then get a call
Yeah.
from my agent, and then telling me that I have an audition, which is a pretty great audition, and it's something that really ticked off the box. Now, for me, that really, I went, ah,
Mhm.
interesting. So when
Yeah.
I create, or when I open my mind up to things and just go, right, forget about, oh, it's not going to happen. There's little
Right.
things that will not work, the little caveats, the little, the
Yeah.
little voice in your head saying that it won't work. When I just let go of that, and I just do it and move and
Yeah.
physically move, stuff seems to happen.
True. You just said
So
it.
I want to ask you, because for me, that's how it works for me. For other people, it's always different.
Right.
But I would really like your understanding and what you know about the law of attraction, and just share a couple of maybe tips, even like trying
Sure.
to unlock your own magnetism as a person to sort of bring in the things that you truly want in this life.
Well, I'll show this. You happen to say something that was really important. This is a brain, and you got to open up your mindset just
She doesn't braid.
to let something out and also let information in. All right.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The next thing is the belief system that you actually have. And the question
Mm,
is, what's your belief system? Is it possible for me? Or are you thinking it's not possible for me? The reason why you said it again, going into the law of attraction and understanding magnetism and the other universal laws that govern the universe that we live in,
mm,
what you think about, you bring about. We call it weight table. What you think about, you bring about. As it is within, so it is without. As it is above, so it is below. As it above in the mental state, what are you thinking in this capacity right here? This is your mentality.
mm,
And if you have an open mind and you're willing to let some of the G go, garbage in, garbage out of your mindset and to accept some good stuff in, then we got something to work with. And the good stuff is, what's the vision that you actually have for yourself? Because see, if you can't see yourself doing the very thing it is that you truly desire from your heart, it'll never manifest because you can't see it. However, you're not going to get something without putting the work into it. Now, here's the thing: it's the time frame that it actually takes because you actually have to become somebody who you're not in order to accomplish the thing it is that you truly desire to get. See, when you just said it, you said when you're acting, you're pulling out something that's embedded in you that you didn't even know that you had. You just
mm,
knew that you had an arsenal of information and equipment that you actually have that you can draw from and create these experiences. Now, here's something else that you said, and I'm gonna drop this little pebble over here, and maybe it'll create a ripple.
mm,
So there's this infinite field of information that's out here, and this infinite field of information that's out here has information. When you do the thing it is that you love, you tap into that. And when you tap into that, you draw it back with the heart. That's the magnetism. So you bring back an exchange for your thought and idea and manifest that thought by drawing it back to yourself in an explanation of an actorship. Here's the role that I've got to play. Now, I got to become somebody who I'm not in order to accomplish this thing. Who must I become?
mm,
What can I bring from me to bring this role alive? That the producers, that the writers, that when they see it, it's like, we need this person right here. And how do you do that? By showing up as
mm,
that person, confident, committed, courageous, the willingness to open yourself up from the mental state to become who it is that I need to become. Because see, producers, writers, and they don't want to work with hard people because you're actually fulfilling the dream that they actually have. Yes, it's a dream coinciding. But the thing about it is you're attracted to what they actually are sending out in the frequency. And again, this is the law. Well, it's the law of vibration. which is a whole nother element, but it's also contingent with this law of attraction. And what's really important to understand is you've got to be so clear that it's not that you are the amateur actor, you're the professional actor looking for a professional role and what you can actually bring to that role. So it's very important to be truly, it's like so clear
Yeah.
and have the heartfelt with that elevated emotion that it's not cause and effect. You cause the effect that you want. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautifully said. And also, like, so as you were speaking about these these different traits and these different
Mhm.
qualities, would you say, like, if someone perhaps isn't fully aligned and maybe is struggling with that certain aspect, what different techniques, like maybe meditation or what different things would does it take for someone to actually get into that mental state?
Well, again, the first thing is to quiet things down. Because more often than not, everybody's not resonating on the same frequency. You got some folks that don't know anything about vibration, energy, and frequency, never even heard of it. What does that mean? But the question is everybody wants something. And the thing is no matter what it is that you want, you have to have an idea about what that thing is. A person that decides that they want to be an actor didn't just wake up and just decide, hey, I think I want to be an actor today. And maybe you did get inspired to do that same thing. And if you did, bravo to you, because now you're on the course and trajectory of discovering your inner greatness. And that's
Mm,
really what it is. So, do I say you have to be tuned in and tapped in and turned on to frequency, energy, and vibration? You don't have to be. It makes things a little bit easier for you. And I think the road less traveled is the one that you actually go on, or be willing to go on that journey of discovery. Now, taking it back to the person who is the novice, who has no idea about any of this stuff,
mhm.
my suggestion is plain and simple, get clear on what it is that you want. If you want to go on an audition, be willing to go where you got to go, be willing to get up and go. And no matter what, it all goes back to the same thing. Even if you don't know about frequency, energy, and vibration, boots on the ground will get you from where you are to where you want to be. And then everything else will start to develop and cultivate as you start to begin to get a broader perspective of who you truly are. And when you get that broader perspective of who you truly are, you see things that you never thought were possible for you. You see doors opening, people calling before you even get the call. You got the phone in your hand waiting. I knew you were going to call me. I knew that audition. I blew it out the water. It's that confidence and the courageousness
Yeah.
that you actually have because you're so, you're dialed into your ability. And it's like, nah, I nailed that one. I nailed
Mhm.
that. And that's the whole thing. It's connections and being connected to the connectors.
Clarity.
Yeah.
I think it's like from that, like, definitely clarity.
Yeah.
You know what it is you want to do, and okay, this is what I got to do. These are the steps I now need to take.
Right.
That will help you. Like, I mean, like Clyde said, you don't have to be so like fully tapped in and toned
Hmm.
in. Just understand that as long as you know what it is, it's you're on the right track,
Yeah.
essentially. On the right track. Now, I want to talk to you a bit more about the the fear aspect. Now, I've been talking about this a lot in my previous episodes, but I just think it's, I mean, for me right now, it's quite a prevalent thing, and
Yeah.
also a big thing in general. So, apologies if it's a similar topic, but hey, I think it's important. Um, I I just think it is. I mean, with everything that you said, you have to have the courage, you have to have the openness and the vulnerability to really
Yeah, man.
connect to other people's vision.
Hmm.
That's not an easy thing to do.
Not always.
That's not something that, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna open up everything and just let everything come out. You know, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's. I just don't want to repeat myself. I think, what is fear to you?
Well, you know what? What's fear and what's real is what you feel it actually is. Everything comes down to this one thing. Well, actually, it's a couple of things, but your feeling is like you got to feel this thing, like your worth and your value and what you bring to every role that you get. Here's what's even more important. Let's put the roles on the side for a minute. How do you
Mm,
show up for you? how do you show up for yourself? Like, what's your
Yeah.
values to who you are? Like, yeah, you want to play the roles, but who are you? Like, what are your values? What are your morals? What's really important to you? What's really significant? What makes you wake up in the day? What puts you to sleep at night? What's the thing that you could just do all day long that you forget about going to sleep at night? What's the thing that you could never do, be tireless for? It's what you get known for. It's what you get seen for. It's almost like, if it's the stage, you could be a mechanic, you could be a dishwasher. I don't care what it is, as long as it's a thing that you enjoy doing the most. And it's the
Mm.
thing that brings you the joy. Like when you get that joy feeling, like I'm just sitting here laughing because I've had so much joy in this life of mine. But at the same time, the thing about it is to just discover, like sometimes you just gotta sit still. And I call it stillness, silence, and solitude. Well, you sit still in silence, you got the solitude going on, and you're in that moment and you're just kind of reflecting about what's really important to me. The silence is like, can you really sit still with yourself for a few minutes without going bananas? I got a
Mm.
text. Somebody didn't respond to me. Uh, uh, Nobody on my social media. They didn't like my post. And you're sitting there eating yourself up, and you're so distracted by all the noise. It's cognitive dissonance. But is that really important? How many likes you get? How many fans you got? That stuff is like, is it you? Because see, what
Mm.
happens is if that becomes you, you get lost in your true identity and you really don't know who you are because without them, you're no one. And here's the thing, with or without them, you're someone. And it's really important. Like I said, even having the boots on the ground, you have to have a solid foundation. So when you take a step, your step, boom, somebody knows you there. You're showing up
Mm.
in the place to be. You can walk into a room full of 1,000 people. But when Benito walks in the room, it's like somebody just came in here. I don't know who came in, but the energy just changed. Something just happened. That shook. You want to be that person. Everybody has the capacity to be. If you allow yourself to be who you truly are, which is the discover yourself. Who are you? Find out who that person
Yeah.
is. Go ahead.
I think one of the hardest things is like, who are you without the craft? Who
Mm-hmm.
are you without the thing that you love so much that makes you feel like you're flying? And I think, I'll be honest, I think until I fully learn that, will I then fully be at peace and then fully be like actually flying, funnily enough.
Just to add on to what you said something before, and you said almost as if you're willing to let it go. There's no attachment to the outcome. And when you're not attached to the outcome, I'm laughing because that's where the magic happens. Because you're not chicken, you're not doing this to it. Hey, listen, however it happens, it happens. I'm cool. Either way the wind blows, it's cool to me. I'm good. When you can step back and say, I did my best, I put it out there, and
Mm.
there's no attachment to it, that's when things start to come to you. But when we sit there and we like, we in our head and we're out of our heart. And when you're out of the heart, you can't magnetize it and bring it back. In order
Mm.
for this heart to be magnetized, it requires the you, the true you, so
Mm.
that it can resuscitate and can expand out and send out that message that's like, yeah, this guy came in here today. May not be exactly what we're looking for, but he got that thing.
You
You
got
got
that it
it.
factor.
That's exactly what
Eh.
and when you have it, all things are possible because you,
Mm.
you literally morph into something else. You have the capacity to wear these multiple hats simultaneously. And when you have it, there's a confidence. It's not arrogance. There's a confidence. There's a oneness where you can almost look at the writers, the directors, the three people that's sitting in the front, and you can see in their eyes the connector that you actually have to them.
Yeah.
And that means you don't have to have the vibration, energy, and frequency. I'm just being connected to you, connecting to you. And that's what ultimately these people want. How can people connect to you? I had another audition on something else, and it was like, he said, America's gonna love you. It's gonna be incredible. you know, and when you start to act on that, because it's acting and you act on it, you can't help but be met with these unprecedented moments that are just
Mm.
like, where did that even come from? And then
Yeah.
people seek you out. And that's where you want to be. You want people to seek and find you, like, oh, I'm out here because you
Yeah.
put your boots on.
And it's like changing the attitude from going like, "Oh, it might not happen," or "This could
Exactly.
happen," to then going, "But what if it did?
Yes. What
What
if?
if it did happen? What if we did get that job? What if we
Yeah.
do push
Mhm.
forward? Then
Exactly.
what?"
Then
Because
what?
a lot of the time as humans, we always go straight to the negative because, I don't know, the amygdala, the little thing in
Yep.
our brain,
Don't get
whatever.
me started there.
Mate, open that brain up again, man. I
That
swear.
limbic system. We talk about the hippocampus, amygdala, and thalamus, and start functioning. We start that
Oh, man, but
hormonal output in the central nervous system, sympathetic, parasympathetic system. That's a whole nother story in
and
itself.
you've lost the whole crowd. Everyone's gone. No, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
The amygdala, we do just as humans, we just tend to go straight to the negative. Please focus.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Key point.
but I realized as soon as you shift that and you go, well, how about let's stop thinking like this? No matter you like, it's a protective thing. I mean, I
Yeah.
have it. I have it as well. You get rejected over a certain amount of times, and you're like, okay, well, let's not get too excited about something. Then
Right.
let's get something come through and just be like, okay, we'll
Mhm.
see how it
Mhm.
goes. You're already sending off that energy of like, oh, so you don't really care.
Right. That's it.
So you don't really want the job that much. But then and then I just thought, well, how about we go back to like how we were when we were a kid? When we were
Exactly.
like so excited for
Mhm.
everything. It didn't matter what the outcome was. It'd be like, I remember getting my little in the school play in year
Yeah.
6, like or grade 6, you get the little envelope and they say which character you're gonna play.
Right.
I was so excited. Like I was literally off my head. I was like,
Exactly.
who am I gonna get? Who am I gonna get? You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like there was
Yeah, man.
no like, oh,
Whatever.
okay, whatever. Because
Exactly.
it just sucks. So I think from now on, I really want to go like and just I just really want to take that approach and be like, hey, I'm excited for this. Like,
Yeah.
who cares what the outcome is? This is such a cool opportunity. Let's get it.
You
And if
said
they
it
don't, if they don't take me, they don't take me. That's not my job, nor my
either
decision.
way. Either way, I'm okay. You happen to say something that triggers something. So in grade school, elementary
Mm,
school, whatever system it was, you know, me and two of my friends actually walked into an auditorium in the school. And technically, we
yeah.
really shouldn't have been in there because we were supposed to be in class. But I'm not saying that. You all
Mm,
go to school, stay in class. However, what they were doing was practicing for a play. And
mm,
he just happened to walk in on time, and it was like, "You three guys, come here." We were kids. I mean, it must be first or second, third grade, something like that.
mm.
However, it was, and we walked in and got a couple of roles in this play. It was really crazy. I mean, it's a school
Huh.
play, went for weeks.
Yeah.
Again, 4 week stint and whatnot. I played some actor singing some song. I played the king of a tribe, and it
Yeah.
was really just crazy. But the thing about it is like you're standing up on that stage, and when you take care of that moment that you have those so-called butterflies and you
Mm,
conquer that fear and you take that fear and turn it into something constructive and positive, then you face fear, face everything and rise. Fear, face everything and rise. It's not forget about
mhm.
everything and run.
Face
It's
everything.
face everything and rise. And that's what you have an opportunity to do,
Mm,
not just because you want to get on the stage, but because you want to be the true version of who you truly are. And if you
yeah.
can face who you really are, and you can face everything, and you can still rise above the situations, the doubts that you actually have in your mindset saying, it's never going to happen to me. But if you say to yourself, I showed up and I did the best
Mm,
that I could, and I'm not attached to the outcome, but I truly believe that whatever's supposed to be will be, and go on about your business.
mm,
Go to the next one, or go do
yeah.
whatever else it is that you do, but allow it to, let's just call it like a cup of tea. Allow
Mm.
the tea bag to steep in the water for a little while. Let it season up just a little bit. Let somebody feel who you are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For real.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let it get some
Just
flavor.
100%, 100%. Now, if there was one thing, right, to all the listeners that are listening right now and
Mhm.
watchers, if there's one thing that you could give to them, young actors, writers, directors,
Right.
what is one piece of advice that you would like to give to them to just to set them forward after watching? after watching this?
You know what? There were going to be doors that are going to open. All right, here we go.
Take your time.
So there will be doors that are going to be open unto you. Remember what it was like when you were on the opposite side of the door knocking, and now you have the opportunity to be on the other side of the door opening up. Don't forget both of those feelings, because at one time, the person who you are today, there's somebody who's looking to become that person as well. And as long as you open up the door for somebody else, somebody will open the door unto you. And it's really about the progression of life itself. Just be the true, authentic self, show up, be willing to do the work, and go for it. Because you never know what you can do unless you go for it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Clyde. That was sick. That was good. That was amazing.
I'm glad you
Well,
enjoyed
thank
it.
you guys so much for listening in. I hope you got some good, valuable insight. I hope you learned something new today.
Yeah.
And remember, look, every thing with this industry, yeah, and this career, we've it's a very, harsh one,
Mhm.
especially for young people. But the great thing about it is that with the quote unquote struggle, there is beauty in the success, because if there wasn't the struggle, the success wouldn't mean anything. If there
Exactly.
wasn't like such a but let's remove struggle and let's put conscious effort,
There you go. There you go.
because I feel like what was it wow, my mind completely lost it. Suffering, or the
Suffering.
stuff
Right.
of struggle, that just has a negative connotation. Let's say
Mhm.
the conscious effort, when you're constantly day by day you're getting up. Even when you get hit down, you continue taking each step and taking each day that you have to the best of, to the best ability that you
Yeah.
have. You take everything at its advantage. You don't let anything go. As long as you do that and you continue, you will get there.
Yep.
You will 100% get where you want to be. All right.
I call that incremental mastery to effortlessness.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Well, there
man.
you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank
Yeah.
you, Clyde, for coming on here. I really
Thank you for
appreciate it, man.
inviting me.
It's
Appreciate
been
you. You a good
been
guy,
an
man.
amazing episode. Thank you, man. Amazing episode. But peace out, everyone. Lots
That's
of
right.
love.
Peace and blessings.